Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Elena, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about feeling out of place in life, but also knowing that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. I want to describe this as being like a magical unicorn. You know, unicorns, if you saw a unicorn walking around, it would stand out and you would pay attention. You would also probably be very intrigued by it, curious about it, and notice that it's just otherworldly, like different. Okay? And I want to talk about this because a lot of times there are light workers and star seeds and those who are aware of life in a different way aside from just the 3D matrix where you just kind of go to work, you pay your bills, and then you just deal with your family and then you go home, eat and sleep. Okay? I'm talking about light workers and healers who know energies, knows the laws of attraction, laws of the universe, and how to utilize that. They can access Akashic records. They can do a ton of different things. They're in tune with their multi-dimensional aspects. They understand their psychic abilities. They trust that the world is more than just what they see in front of them, and that they are never alone because they always have spirit guides, even though they may not be able to see them. Some people can see them. If they don't see them, they still know that they are fully surrounded by their ancestors, spirit guides, and their angels. Okay? So I'm talking about these star seeds. I'm going to call them like magical unicorns because they're different. And they're trying to operate in this really earthly, practical type of reality. And many times we might feel very alone because we feel like nobody around us really relates to what we know and what we see in life. We tend to be the ones to break cycles because we're healers. We break cycles because that is our job. We understand that our job is more than just our physical 9-to-5 job. Our job is to do the inner work. And we know that. We signed up for that. And a lot of times, light workers, because they are to hold the light, it is not always rainbows and butterflies. There's a lot of misconception in terms of people being earth angels or healers, where people assume that everything is just peachy. Like if I were to just buy a crystal, my whole life is cured. It's like, no. That crystal is a tool to assist you in helping you look at your shadow aspects and heal those things. And if you don't want to do the work, it is just a rock as far as I'm concerned. So be aware of people in the spiritual communities that just only focus on positive shit, because that's wrong. Okay, spiritual bypassing, it is not accurate, because in order to truly understand what light is, light has to understand that darkness is your greatest teacher. So those who are truly light workers will oftentimes be born in families or put in situations or environments where it's very challenging. And they have a lot of things to kind of heal and transmute in terms of the darkness in order to move it into the light. Healers tend to have a great capacity to forgive and to be able to look at things that may be unfair or like an injustice or things that are just not right. They will stand up. They will call it out. They will also find a way to take their frustrations into a positive direction to kind of have a positive outcome. That is true healing. I often ask Spirit, why the heck am I in spaces like this? Because I feel like I'm around people that don't truly understand, and they don't know the depths and the layers of the world that we live in. They're only operating at a certain frequency. That is why if I were to talk about patterns and energy and generational traumas, a lot of people would just be like, phew, like not really understand what I'm talking about. But what they will understand is very superficial stuff. Like if I were to talk about pop culture, if I were to talk about movies, if I were to talk about just basic stuff like food, work, like just keeping it at the very like surface level, that is where they're operating at. You can only meet people as far as they have met themselves. Okay, if they're not diving deep and figuring out their traumas and wounds, it's going to go right across their head. And so like for a lot of times in my life, I feel like I have to not say anything. I can't really express this part of me to the people around me, because either they're not going to get it. They're going to think that I'm just like crazy. They're going to just zone out, or they're going to get triggered by what it is that I have to say. Because let's face it, if you're someone who has looked at your shit and looked at your light and dark, both of it, and integrated that, you know who you are. So when you know who you are, it's amazing how many people you can trigger in terms of people who just don't yet know who they are, or they haven't yet learned to love themselves or embrace all aspects of themselves. And so you will tend to meet people who will just get triggered by just you being yourself and minding your own business. It's frustrating because sometimes you just want to be able to live your life peacefully. And yet you find yourself in these situations, and then you ask God, what's going on? And then God would say, okay, this is what God said to me, or my spirit guide said to me. You're looking at it with the perspective of, how is this to serve you to be in this situation? You're not yet looking at the fact that maybe you being in that space is something that other people need. Maybe there's something with you, your perspective, your energy, your healing abilities, your sense of awareness is needed in that space for other people. It's not about what you can get out of it. It's what other people need from you in that situation. When you know who you are in terms of your healing process, and you're a cycle breaker, and you look at your traumas and your shadow aspects, and not only do you look at your shadow aspects, you heal it, you embrace it, you know that that is part of your experience and part of who you are, that makes you your personality, you will automatically shift your energy to that of alignment. Okay? So that is why you may feel you are very different, because you are. Your energy is very different. Your energy is naturally healing. Your energy, because you've been doing the work on yourself, is very aligned to your truth. So chances are, when you're really aligned to your truth, you are aligned to love. So therefore, when you walk into a space, people either get inspired by you because there's something about you that maybe because you've healed a certain wound, maybe they still haven't yet healed it. You represent what a healed aspect version would be for them if they do the work. So that really woke me up, because I just thought, like, okay, well, that makes sense. Because if you had a big battle plan, let's say, in terms of trying to heal the planet and have people accelerate in a very quick way, you're not going to have all your light workers in a small little corner talking to each other. You're going to take your light workers, you're going to spread them around spaces that have really dense, maybe 3D energy. Okay, different types of energies that are not radiating at the frequency you normally radiate at, because your job is to not change people. You're not here to change people. You're here to be yourself and provide an opportunity to people to observe you and make a choice for themselves of what they prefer and what they don't prefer. So your job is to be placed in these spaces that may not make sense to you, because it's not supposed to. You're supposed to stand out. You're supposed to be the magical unicorn that stands out. And I know it's hard. Spirit is asking you to keep faith in terms of really understanding that there's a reason why you're there, even though the reason may not make sense to you, because you're probably ready to move on to other things and do other things. But you have to understand that there are contracts made with some of the people around you, and that you have to be patient, and you have to allow the grace and the time for other people to observe and make choices for themselves, because you have no idea how you impact other people. You have no idea how you're doing that, because if you're truly aligned with yourself, you would just be focusing on your everyday in the now. You wouldn't be thinking too much in the future or in the past. You would be in alignment with what you need to do in the moment that you need to do it every time. So you'll be in the now all the time. I wanted to kind of say to all the magical unicorns out there, your job is not to enforce other people to become a unicorn. You're supposed to be the magical unicorn, okay? You're supposed to just stay there and do your thing, do it well, and then trust. You got to keep that trust that there will be more people who you will attract to your life as the frequencies of this planet raise, right? Because you have no idea. Here's another thing too. As you're living in the moment, in the now, getting your stuff done, you have no idea what's going on in other pockets of the universe or other pockets of the world. Other people who are also magical unicorns are doing their part too. You have no idea the rapid rate of ascension that is happening on the planet right now because of the work that you're doing in just being your unique, beautiful selves. Okay, and even though it can be very difficult and challenging because you're like, where's my soul tribe? I feel like I'm swimming in the abyss and the only person that can hear me is God. And I would really like a physical person next to me so I can talk and relate to this person and to talk about what's going on. But I have to trust that things are happening behind the scenes. And your job is to not even think about everything else that's happening around you. Your job is to focus on the moment in front of you right now and trust that your tribe, those magical unicorns and other pockets of the planet, are doing their part and they're feeling the same thing. And we're all in this together. We're all in this together, okay? And what's really important too is that it's not your job to make people believe you or treat you differently or enforce your perspective on other people. It's literally you just being yourself, minding your own, doing your job, doing it well. And if you feel so inclined to share your wisdom to someone when the time is right, then do so, because clearly that would be a channeled message from your guides to them. But you have to understand that people are on their own journey, okay? Whether they wake up, whether they grow, or they don't grow, it really is not up to you. Your job in this moment is to be yourself, and that is all. And you have to trust that this is temporary and that there will be a time where there's going to be enough energy to uplift the majority of the people on the planet so that there will be more of us in terms of starseeds. We're going to be able to see each other more. We're going to be able to be in each other's lives more. And we have to trust the process because we are all in this together, okay? We're not going to just shine the light to those who just are aware of this shit. We're going to shine our light wherever God wants us to shine it, okay? Anyways, I hope this helps. And I hope you continue to embrace the beautiful, magical unicorn that you are. And just do your thing. Have them look. And just know that you're here for a reason. And if people want to just become their own inner magical unicorn, they should just hang out with you more and follow you more. And understand that you are rare. And people are blessed and lucky to have you in their lives. Okay? Anyways, I hope that helps. And I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye.